Hi guys. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
ये बंद है जो समय
Sorry, Sudhakar. Can you come again? Is my mistake?
hello
Yes, Sudhakar.
I'm not getting the test actually, sorry, not test, that MCQ one.
Didn't post yet. Today's MCQ?
Yes, the last one.
I didn't post it. Yeah. Give me a minute. I'm just copying it. Yeah.
Sure. I thought I'm having some issue.
Is anyone facing any issue with the portal? Seems to be not loading for me.
No, it's loading, but if you're not given already, then it is fine.
Okay. posted the MCQ for Baba batch. Did the same for Tata batch as well. So how is your web development journey is going? Hi Reena. Hi Akhilesh. Hi Prag. Good evening. Are you
It
developing
is good, ma'am.
projects?
It's
Good.
good, ma'am, but we are not, like we have to take some time for all these things.
Practice.
We are not
Yes.
getting time and all this, so it's little bit difficult. Without practicing anything, we can't do. I think
Correct.
in
Correct.
that code.
Yeah. Give some time, but no, don't leave it. How is your DSA going?
Oh, DSA, ma'am, it is good.
Okay. Others, are
DSA,
you practicing DSA side by side? I'm telling you, I'm teaching full stack, but even I'm telling you, DSA is the first step. Okay. If that's not perfect, all these secondary, all these node, React or JavaScript, whatever you learn is secondary only. Okay. If
yes.
you are not good and it not up to the mark in DSA, it's a big red flag. Okay, we will have to practice that. Don't leave without practicing side by side. Have that in practice. Is everyone aware of the lead code tool?
Yes, late coding, we do know.
Yes. Daily at least solve easy questions, easy to medium questions.
Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, we do. Can I ask? Ma'am, we do not we like I do understand all the questions, but when I'm going to write the code, na, like it is so much difficult. So why exactly?
First, that's the first. You'll have to practice and identify, are you facing difficulty with coming up with a solution or translating that solution to a code,
Yeah, that
right?
one. That like translating the solution to into code.
Okay, so then that comes with practice. Okay, divide your solution part into subparts and think of what data structure can you use to arrive at your solution. Okay, once you are done with choosing that, divide your solution into subparts and try to achieve step by step. Okay, but if you are stuck anywhere, okay, go look at the solution. Don't waste time thinking. Okay, if you don't know, it's not expected to know all of the solutions and code it right away. Okay, so go look at the solutions. First time when you see a question for the first time, think of a solution for half an hour to 1 hour. Even then, if you are not able to come up solution, go look at other solution, learn from there. Okay, don't waste time. I see many people, they'll be wasting time just because they wanted to come up with the solution by themselves, right? They want to code it all by themselves and they don't want to look at the solution. That is something, yes, you can try. Okay, if it crosses more than an hour or two, it's a signal that you'll have to go and look at the solution. Looking at the solution and coding is not a bad option. Okay, look at the solution, understand what they are doing, try to understand the code as well, and then without seeing, try to code the same thing. Okay, once you are done, make a note of that problem. Okay, make a note of whatever problem you were not able to solve. Come back after 3 days. Okay, 3 days or 4 days. Try to solve it now without looking at the solution. Okay, so once you develop that practice, you will definitely solve. After 3 days, you come and solve. Even then, if you are not able to do it, come back. See the solution, code it without seeing. Come back again after 3 days and see. Okay, so eventually you will be able to solve that problem as well as similar problems related to that. So that is how I practiced. Okay. So I'm just telling you that most of the people, they you cannot come up with a solution right away. and code it. And yes, what the Sudhakar told is he's finding difficulty with converting the solution to code. That also, when the solution is there, don't think of the main sub. No, don't try to code everything at once. Okay, let's say you are no swapping two numbers, for example. Okay, if swapping two number might not be the entire solution itself. Okay, in the solution, swapping the number might be some sub problem. Okay, just simply put that function and then try to separate all small parts and then try to club that. Okay, don't try to focus on completing the entire code in one go. Okay, separate your parts and then separate as a separate small functions, and then focus only on implementing that function. If your function is focused on swapping the numbers, just focus only on that and then complete it. Okay, next go to the next sub problem. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you. Divide your solutions into subparts. Okay, code it as a separate function. Focus only on that function and then complete it, and then group all the functions and come up with the solution. Okay, it will come only by practice. Even if you look at multiple YouTube channels or multiple classes, or if you just keep on looking and reading the solution, it won't come. We will have to practice. Only by practice DSA will come, else it's going to be very difficult. Okay, others, how are you like practicing? Is DSA in track? Shiva, Shubham, Shazia, Imran, Kanhu, how is your DSA practice going? That's very important. Practicing? Yes, no, any answers? At least in chat? Okay, okay. 2 to 3 times in a week, good, but at least in the initial part, try to do at least one problem every day. Yes, Abhishek, good. 2 problems per day, very good. Yeah. Again, don't be switching two platforms again, HackerRank and LeetCode. Don't be switching platforms. Stick with one and then do it. If you are comfortable with HackerRank, stick with that only. And if you are comfortable with LeetCode, stick with that. Don't be jumping from platforms to platform. There's no difference. Okay. No, most probably all the questions will be repeated. Okay. Few questions in terms of uh, the way in the question is framed might be different, but the underlying logic and all, most of the places it will be same only. Yeah, but it's okay, stick with one platform and then do that would be a better option. Okay, initially when you are practicing, and also stick with one language. Okay, if you keep on jumping languages and platforms, you'll be more wasting time in figuring out that rather than figuring out the solutions to the problem. Okay, let me share screen. Let's start with today's session. Yes, lead code is best in terms of DSA. Yes, Kanhu, correct. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So today we are going to see about template engines. Before that, most of you didn't join the Saturday's class. We saw a few topics on reading different formats of files, CSV files, and then we saw how to read HTML form responses. Okay. As of now, we were dealing with only JSON, I believe. Yes. Many of you would know only JSON format of data. So we saw how to deal with HTML form data, which is not in JSON format. Okay, so that and all we saw. So if you get time, kindly go and visit look into the recordings. Else, at least look into the code changes which is made on Saturday. So everyone is aware of that as well. Okay. Any doubts on middlewares on Friday's topic? Did anyone try rate limiter? Yes, Shubhankar, we will see. That is there in the curriculum. We will see the unit testing part and all. It's there in the curriculum. Yeah. After database, we have testing. Any doubts in how middlewares are working? What it is? Can any one of you give me a brief explanation of what is middleware? Shubhankar? No. Akhilesh, Ashwati? Anyone can come forward and tell me like what middleware is and why it's useful?
Ma'am, middleware is an operated at different tasks
Correct.
and then send it to server
Somewhere in between the request and the response,
and
right?
the receiver. Yeah, a response. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So if you want to do an application level middleware, you use .use method, right? And mention. So
Yeah.
for every route, this middleware will be executed. The order in which the middleware is executed is based upon where you have listed. Okay, it is the order in which you give. Okay, if you give auth user first, the first middleware that will be executed is auth user only. So what are the three things a middleware has access to? Anyone else? Abhishek? What are the three objects that every middleware has access to? Yes. Correct, Abhishek. Middleware is a function. We can have it between, yeah. Correct. But yes, Shubhankar, correct. Request, response, and then next. Correct. These are the three objects that every middleware will have access to. If you don't want, you can remove it. Okay, but these are the three things that a middleware has access to. And we also saw route level middleware. Okay, that is only for this particular route, my middleware 2 will be executed. For all other routes, it won't be executed. Again, this also depends on the order in which you give. So middleware 2 will be the second one to be executed before this arrow function middleware, which I have added. Okay. We also have one other middleware. I told you, if you remember, error middleware, right? We saw three types: application, router, and then error middleware. Did anyone of you look into that? What error middleware is? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So error middleware is nothing but, let us say, I want to handle all the errors of my application in one place. Okay. Simply pass the error message. Okay. Sending the error message should be some other different global function, global middleware. Let us say I am having a middleware called this one, error middleware as the name. Okay. Let me have that function, error middleware. It will have access to four things. Okay. The first one is the error object. The second one is the request, response, and the next. Everything is same, nothing different, except that it has access to one other object called error object. So let us say anytime I have an error in these request calls, I want to pass the error message to this middleware. Okay, to this middleware and let it send the response. Send error message, I believe. Yeah. Message or status message, I'm not sure. Let's check that. Okay. Let us say I have a situation, I have a error middleware which is having access to 4 parameters. The first one is error. Okay, the request, response, next are all same. Okay, if any of the route has any error, instead of sending and handling the error in this place itself, okay, let's go back to our previous files. We have multiple errors in here, right? So yeah, if there is no data found, it is an error, right? So let's say I don't want to handle my success case and the error case in one thing and then load it. Instead, I wanted to add a middleware after these handlers. Dot use. Okay, there I didn't have much implementation on the error cases. So let's have this project as the example. What we have to do is function error middleware, error object, request, response, and next. So every time when it is a success, I'm sending the response here itself. So no need to call the error middleware. Okay, let us say in this case, in the post case, here I have an error, right? So instead of sending the error here itself, let me comment this, okay, and call next. Okay, in the I need this error, right? I need to pass in the, if I call next here, what is the next middleware in my line? What is the next middleware in the line? Anyone? After, if I call next in line 69, what is the next middleware in the line that will be executed?
That is response, ma'am.
Error middleware, right? No, if it is, let us put this in else condition. If it is an error, do this, else send this JSON. Earlier I had return statement. Okay. Now if I call line 69, next, what is the next middleware that will be executed? What is in line? After this middleware, what is the next middleware that is in line?
Error middleware, right?
Error middleware, right? Everyone agree with me on that? If I call next from this function, next means execute the next middleware in the line. What is the next middleware I have in the line? This one, error middleware, right? Immediately after this, I have line error middleware only. So immediately this error middleware will be invoked. Okay, but if you see here, I have an extra object here, error object. So how can I pass the data from line 69 to line 86? How can I pass error message data? How can I pass this data to my error middleware? Any guesses?
Using error object from error middleware.
Yes, but as a parameter, as an argument to the next function, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever you need to pass a message, okay, from using the next method, okay, using the next method, whenever you wanted to pass any message to the error middleware, the first one is the error object, right? So in the first argument, you can add new error object, and then simply send this message. Whatever message you wanted to send to your middle handler. What this will do is inside, let us do the console.log and see first what are we getting in the error. Understood the changes whatever I have done. I have simply removed the error statement. Instead of handling error and success in the same place, I have used a middleware to handle errors. So it will receive the error object and then simply send the error. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear,
Yeah.
everyone?
Yes,
Okay.
it's clear.
So that then if we go to day 5, okay. Let me run the server. It is a post call, right? Okay. So it should be an error. How do I make this as an error? Possibly what I can do is this is just hard coding. Now if I go and ask for post the data and then send it, next not defined. Okay, I didn't use the next here. Error adding data. Okay, now if I go back and hit it, can you see? Oh, I didn't start the server. When the error is occurred, I'm calling next with this data, error adding data, right? In line 86, I have printed the error object. Can you see that here? Can you see that in line, what? There is no line here, but I have highlighted here, right? It is just printing, it is not sending the response. Okay. In the error object, you have something called message. I believe that is the key, but yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Can you see error adding data being printed? So whatever you send here, okay, the data will be available in message keyword in the error object. Okay. Now, instead of doing this, I can just copy and then return this from here, error dot message. Okay. Now, if I go and hit, it's giving me data with 500 error. Right? So instead of hard coding all my errors in this place, I'm sending all the error messages to one function, and from that function, I'm handling it commonly for all the routes. Okay, whatever route might it be, whenever there is an error, instead of handling it here itself and then sending the response, I will simply have a error middleware and then send all my error messages from this middleware. Got it? Yes, you can go ahead and have it earlier, whatever we had, just handle it here itself. But know that this way is also possible. This is one minor change to the existing middlewares. Understood? Any doubts? Any doubts on this part? Error middlewares. I'm passing an error object and then printing error dot message here or sending it to the server client from error middleware. You can have as many middlewares as you want. Okay. Unless and until you send the response, it will keep on executing. Okay. You can call that using the dot next method. Okay. Once you send the response, and then you cannot do anything. Once it is sent, anything after that, any middlewares after that will not be executed. Any doubts on middlewares? The other middlewares as well, whatever we saw the other day, what global middlewares are. Did any one of you try this third-party middlewares? I was not able to demonstrate this rate limiter because I cannot install that package in my system. Did any one of you try? Can you share your screen and demonstrate to others? is a good add-on to your application. Having rate limiters and all is something big projects which are in production only do, right? So you have a good package to do that. It's a very simple one. Can anyone of you try implementing it and share your screen so that others know how to do it? I have given the package name, how to use it, how to add it as a middleware. Can you show the demo alone if anyone has implemented? Dheeraj, can you just install now and then add to your application if you have? Any simple route would do. Rupam, Prag,
Hello, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, I am using the mobile phone.
Okay. Okay, no problem, no problem. Akhilesh, can anyone of you install this package? Okay, have a simple route. Okay, even this simple home page route also will work. Okay, just I'll start with template engines. Okay, in the side, if you can install this package, just add this 4 lines alone, rate limiter, 4 lines, and have a simple route. Okay, and then try to hit it more than 5 times. It should give you an error. So it's a fantastic, third-party tool which you can use in your applications to enhance it. Nileshwar, can you do it? Nileshwar, Prague, anyone? No response. At least try in your system and let me know if you are able to. Imran, can you do it? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Rupam. Himanshu, can you try? Yeah. We'll start with template engines. Try installing this express rate limit library, and then just add this middleware, just this 4 lines middleware alone, and then try to hit the any route. Okay, local home route also will work. Okay, and then try to hit the same route uh, more than 5 or whatever the max you have given here. Yes. Okay, so let's go. No doubts with our middlewares, everyone? Only if I get a message, yes, I'm proceeding, please, at least respond in the message or unmute yourself and let me know. Any doubts with middlewares, guys? Pavan, Veer, Shubham? No doubt, okay. Shiva, Shazia? Okay. Sapna, understood? Ramanel, Shabir? Okay, okay, got it. Okay. Amanjot, any doubts? Do you want me to repeat anything so far we have seen? Okay. Okay. So now we are going to see something called template engines. So, okay. This template engine concept was very much used before React and all came. Okay, before React, Angular, all those third-party libraries in the client, right, which was helping us to render dynamic data, right? Before this framework and all came, we will have to do only with JS, right? So as of now, even we haven't seen any of the frameworks. You are designing all the client side with plain JS, right? So many of the operations in plain JS are expensive, meaning you are manipulating the DOM again and again, which will slow when your project grows, right? When you have a big project with multiple pages, multiple routes, okay, multiple people accessing. When your project grows, what happens is DOM manipulation, okay, whatever you are doing, right? Adding event listeners, removing them, adding a class, or adding a new node, deleting a node. All these are expensive operations, meaning it will slow down your client. It will slow down the time required to render the client side. Okay, if you have too much of dynamic content, okay, if you have too much of dynamic content, okay, what happens is you will be trying to manipulate this uh, DOM frequently, right or wrong? Yes. When there are too much clicks, too much pop-up, in your application, okay, too much of dynamic content comes into picture. Okay, every time you do a DOM manipulation, it will become expensive, and that is the reason many frameworks came up, React, Angular, and all, to simplify developers' job. Okay, in terms of DOM manipulation and also avoiding frequent DOM thing and all. Okay, so this React and all was not. Yeah, please unmute yourself if you're not speaking. Okay, this React and all was not there before 2010, I believe. Yeah, React came in 2013. Before 2010, we didn't have any popular library to ease this job, right? Okay, so what people did is, what many of the big applications like Facebook, all there was, a Yahoo and all was there around 2010 itself, right? So all of these big products and all, they thought like having all this in the client side is expensive, it is delaying my operation, meaning it's making my website very slow. And they came up with an idea of sending html from server itself. Got it? As of now, we saw sending HTML files from server. Do you remember that, sending HTML files from server?
Yes.
This one. Yes. So we were sending only static data, right? We were sending this file somewhere. We were sending only static data, meaning, yeah, this HTML content is not going to change. It is not dynamic, right? So, but the reason why they thought of sending the HTML file from the server is they can render all the dynamic data from the server itself and then send as a HTML only, so that in the client side, all these expensive operations are reduced. Understood the idea of it? Simply send dynamic HTML pages. We are sending static data now. By static, I mean I'm not changing the content of my HTML file based on any data. But that is not the case. Every time you will have some data to be modified, and based on the data, you need to render that HTML. Right? Even in the client, we were doing that only. We received some data, and using JavaScript, we were rendering the dynamic HTML. Right? So that put
हेलो
Hello.
फ्रीज हो गया लग रहा है
Hello.
Maybe it's happening something for Mike, so please be quiet.
ले रहा भाई आज की क्लास
आबिर के हाथ में आज की क्लास
शुभांकर भाई क्लास ले रहे हैं आज अपनी।
Am I audible?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, my internet connection went off. Yes, thank you. Yeah, let me share my screen. Sorry for the disturbance.
No issue, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So, any doubts with what template engine is doing for us? Instead of rendering the dynamic content in the JS, we are rendering that in the server itself and sending. Okay, and after that React and Angular and all came, right? As of now, none of the projects are actually, using. Very rare scenarios they are using in one or two places, but what this React and Angular and all is making this problem of having too much slowing down the page, right? Instead of having template engines which is putting a lot of workload on the server. Okay, this React and Angular and all, it is not doing that. It is not making your page too much slow, so everyone adapted React. But before that, since DOM manipulations and too much of dynamic content, putting too much of workload in the client is expensive, and also you will require client machines to be in a good state, right? You should, if you are doing too much of operations in the client, your client machines should be with at least minimum hardware necessities. Okay, your client machine should be in a good state, right? It will not, your machine will be very, your program or your software will be very slow if your client machines are not in a good state, or not equipped with minimum requirements for your machines. Yes. Okay, so that is the problem this template engine is trying to solve. But you just need to know that there is something called template engines, and it was used to send, I'm repeating, it was used to send dynamic content from the server itself. Okay, instead of putting too much of load on the JS part. But now that we have too much of popular frameworks like React and Angular, okay, you need not do this part in the server. Simply send the data and the client will do it for you. Okay, this frameworks and all have solved this issue. Okay, and then people started adapting this frameworks itself instead of having this dynamic content and rendering it from the server. Okay, so there are multiple template engines.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, this template engine is a library or a framework?
You cannot tell that, it's a library, but you have multiple, it's a concept, it's something to
It's like a language,
send
na, ma'am?
dynamic data. Yes,
No.
rendering engine. Mm-mm.
What we gonna learn in
Yes,
template?
it is. I'm coming to that. It is a template engine. We have multiple things. We have, you know, handlebars. We have EJS, I believe. Yeah, we are going to see EJS only. Sorry. We have Pug, and we also have Stretch, I believe. Yeah, let me go and check. There are multiple template engines.
Mustard.
Yeah. E If you can see here, embedded JS is what we are going to learn today. Okay. So if you go and see to EJS, it is a mix of every template engine is a mix of JavaScript and HTML. Okay. In HTML, you have static content, right? You can do only static content using HTML, right? With JS, we introduced having dynamic content, right? Correct? Everyone, correct? This one, HTML is used to render static content, whereas the JS, you can manipulate that static content and then bring in dynamic content for you. All these template engines are just the mix of these two. Okay, each one have their own syntax, each one have their own way of rendering it. Okay, so but on the whole, all these popular template engines are just a mix of HTML and JS. Syntax, it might differ. Okay. Few questions I have. Which one is better, handlebars or EJS? We cannot comment on that. As I said, it is not used widely today in today's thing. Okay, very few projects, old projects only you can find this. Okay, your frameworks, React, Angular, Vue does better job than this template engines. So people started moving away, but you need to know that there is template engines, because when you go to companies and projects, mostly you will find one or two. Okay, in Zoho, I have worked with handlebars. Okay, in PayPal, I have worked with Pug, right? EJS, I just learned for this course because we are going to see EJS now. It's just a difference in syntax. All concepts are same. Okay, just a difference in syntax in Pug and all these. All of these are just a combination of HTML and JS together. Okay, you cannot tell which one is better. Handlebars syntax is, too much heavy, meaning there is it offers a little more features than EJS, I think. Okay, but the syntax part and the programming part is kind of tedious in handlebars, whereas in Pug it's slightly easier, and EJS is, I think, like EJS is better in terms of learning curve. Okay, you have plenty, you need not learn all of them. We are going to see EJS as part of our curriculum. If you find handlebars better, please go and implement that. As I said, everything is going to be a combination of HTML and JS, but we are going to do that in the backend. Okay, in the backend, render all the dynamic content in the backend and simply send the HTML itself to the client. In curriculum, we have handlebars. We have a flexibility to choose EJS or handlebars. I thought that EJS will be better. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I'm repeating it again. It is not, needed to go more depth into template engines. It is something very old, not in today's projects. You won't find this. Okay, when you go in companies and the company have a big, old projects, they'll be sticking to this template engines in very few cases. Okay, only in that time you need to know that there is something called template engines, and you need to know each one. Handlebars will be completely different than EJS syntax wise. Okay, everything else is going to be same. The concept is just mixing up HTML and JS, okay, and then rendering dynamic content. As simple as that. Any doubts? Any doubts on what your template, what template engines are? Can we see an example? Everyone, any doubts on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you can also go and look into template engines. Yeah, this is also a very popular one. Underscore templates, I haven't heard of it mostly, but EJS is what we are going to learn today. Handlebars, I said it. Handlebars has some, uh, much features here, but as I said, right, like the syntax part is kind of difficult, but Ibrar, as I said, Ibrar has asked me, why are we learning this EJS if we don't use? If you are doing, I cannot say that we don't use completely. Okay, we are preparing you for uh, live production companies. You'll have to go and work there. So you need to know these topics that existed, because still, I'm working in PayPal's product. I see Pug used there. Okay, if I need to make changes, I need to know what template engines are, and only then I can do that. Okay, if you are doing personal projects, you can, when once you learn React, you will not find the need to do this. Okay, Brad? Okay, yeah. Can we start with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rupam has told, okay, you tried rate limiter after refresh the page for 5 times, it shows too many requests, please try again. Yes, that is what required, right? After 5th time, it should show you an error. It should not give you the response. Okay, so yeah, we will at 10:15 or 10:30, you can share the screen and demonstrate that to everyone. Yeah. Okay, so this is the EJS website. Just go to docs. Okay, how to install? You have npm install EJS. Okay, so what we can do is simply create. Do we have any changes? Okay, this error change. I'll look into that later. Let's create another folder. Okay, let's create a file app.js. Let us create a simple express server. Let's install npm install express. This is run app dot get okay. So let's have request and response. Let's see if it's working. npm install node node./app.js. Whatever. Okay. Okay, everything's working fine. Okay, simple express server. Okay, now let us try to add a folder. Okay, let's try to add a folder called what do I say? Home page, home folder. Inside that, let's have an index.html. Okay. So if I wanted to send this HTML file, how will I do that? Simply use send file and dot slash home slash index. This is how I send a HTML file, right? So now if I go and hit, it's not sending the file. Okay. Path must be absolute. Oh, okay. Simply use this underscore directory name. Okay. And then directory name will give you everything till day 7. Okay. And then you can just simply put slash home slash index.html. Now if I try to hit, okay, I got the HTML file. Okay, this HTML file is static data, right? Let us say h1, whose name shall I take? Okay, if it's Brian, every time I'm going to get the same data. Let's say I wanted to change this based on the user who is trying to access, right? Based on the user, whoever is working with my application, I wanted to print the user's name, like hello, and then instead of having a static data like this, Brian, I wanted to print the user's name here. Okay, so if I have the option of having JavaScript in the node, in environment, having clubbing HTML and JavaScript, this is what you will do in the client side, right? You will simply have any function or something here, and then get that in the document dot get element by ID. Okay, and then try to change the values here, right? So this is what we will be doing in the client side. So now we cannot do that. We are in the server side. We want to mix up, give some data to this HTML and then send the HTML data. Basically, the template engine, what it is doing is, you have a HTML file. Okay, it's an HTML file, and you have dynamic data. Okay, be it anything, any data. In our case, the dynamic data is going to be the username. Got it? If you give this details, right, the HTML plus this dynamic data, it will render a static HTML for you, which you can send it to the client as a response. Understood what your template engine is doing? Simply you have a HTML and you have some dynamic data. In our case, it is username. Okay. Based on that username, it will render a static HTML inside the server itself and then send you as a client. And then send that as a response to the client. Understood? This is a very high level of what your template engines are trying to do. Ibrar, yes, isn't this very slow? Yes, it's slow, but think of the situation, instead of putting this heavy processing of dynamic data in the client's machine, okay, in the client machine, rather than doing that, it's better to do it in the server itself, right? So that users experience is more important, so that users don't end up with this slow lagging pages which is done with the JavaScript itself. Okay, you are putting that load on the server so that you do all of the expensive stuff and then send the static HTML only, so that on the client side it's fast. Users experience is very important, more than how the more than the slowness in the server side. And so we are doing all this in the server side. Okay. Only when my HTML is ready, I'm sending it as a response to my client as a static HTML. Static HTML, no need to do any job in the client, right? Simply display that HTML. I don't need to do any heavy processing there. Okay, all that is done in the server itself. I can simply display that static data. Understood? Okay. Let us say, instead of sending, HTML like this, let's go and use our template engine. Okay. npm I install, or I is a short form for install. Okay. Do EJS. Once you install that, it should be listed in the dependencies. Okay. After it is being listed, usual way, how do you do that? EJS, which is equal to require, simply import the EJS package. So far clear? Okay. So we are just installing the EJS one and then embedded JavaScript, and then we are importing that in our app.js. Okay. Now, what you will have to say is, how did we add middlewares? Did we add middlewares whenever we wanted to deal with JSON kind of a data or form data? Similar to that, you will have to tell your app Express server that you are working with EJS as a view engine. Okay, these are called view engines. Template engines are called as view engines. Okay, you will have to tell that I am using EJS as the view engine here. So anytime I try to render HTML inside the server, use EJS library. Got it? So in order to mention that, you'll have to do app.set. That method, simply give view engine with space. Okay, to this key view engine, this is something EJS specific only. We don't have anything to do with that. Okay, you'll have to mention the view engine to the Express server. View engine, comma, in the string, you'll have to mention that it is EJS. Got it? Any doubts? This is, if you change this name, it won't work. So far clear? Any doubts? Yes, no,
Please repeat
okay,
once.
repeat. Okay. I am importing the EJS library. Okay. I wanted to tell the Express server that I am using EJS as my view engine. Okay. There are multiple template engines, right? So you need to uh, tell the Express server that my view engine is EJS. Okay. How do we mention that whenever we were dealing with JSON kind of data, did we not mention that explicitly that I'm dealing with JSON kind of a data? So use this middleware, right? Similar to that, you need to set the view engine value to EJS. Dot set will do that for you. It's just a key value pair. We view engine and then EJS. Yeah, it's just a syntax or protocol or rules that we will have to follow in order to tell the servers, in order to tell the Express server what view engine are you using. I'm using EJS, so I have mentioned EJS here. Understood? Okay. So now let us say instead in dot slash, instead of sending this, okay. Now I don't have any dynamic content as of now. Okay. First, let's check if this file is being rendered properly. So now what you will do is you will simply use render method. Okay. Inside the render method, you will have to mention the name of the file. Okay. Whenever you are dealing with view engines, all the views, right, put in a folder called views. Okay, this name also you will have to name it in this way only. You will have to have views, and inside that you can have as many template engines as much you want, but everything should be under views folder. Clear? Can we create one file? Okay, let's create index.ejs instead of .html. Now you will have to give the file extension as .ejs. Okay. I told you it's EJS a combination of HTML and JavaScript. So far we haven't touched JavaScript. Okay, we will stick with HTML only and then check the data. Okay, let's simply have a HTML. Hello, and let's see if this is first rendering and then try to add dynamic data to it. Now, in the render, you need not mention the file path and all. As of now, I'm in the app.js. So if I'm from the app.js, if I wanted to go to views, what you will do, /views and then /index. This is how you will be representing it, right? So since we have views folder, which is by default, they have configured that everything in the views folder should be an EJS. So you need not mention all those. Okay. All those, and you can simply mention the file name alone. Okay. Here index is my file name. So I will mention index. If I have any other file name, I can just mention that file name alone. I need not mention the entire path. Okay. If you don't have the folder name as views, okay, it will not know where to take it from, and then in that case you will have to mention the entire path. Shubham, correct? Why are you asking me why I should name it as views folder?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that is for the exact this reason, right? In line 9, I need not mention the entire path, right? /views/ this is not required. Okay, if you have all your template files, all your EJS files in a folder called view, by default, it will go and check in that folder only. If you don't give it in this name, if you have it in any other name, you will have to give the entire path, which is tedious when you have a bigger application. Okay, simply mention the file name alone. Extension, file extension is also not required. Okay, can you check if it's working? Okay, now node mod, and then let's try to it. Okay, instead of Brian, I got just hello. Okay, my static content is working. My HTML part is working now. Any doubts with this? Serving HTML files? 3 steps: import, Set your view engine as EJS, and then try to render it. Another important thing is have all your template files inside a folder called views. Okay, only if you have it in this format, your render will be able to guess that this is an EJS file. So, and then it will go and get this data correctly. Okay, by default, they have configured it in that way. If you have it in some other name, okay, you will have to mention the entire path. Else only the file name is enough. Understood the static part? As of now, I don't have any dynamic content here. Okay, everything as the entire file is being printed here. Get caught. Can we move ahead? Any doubts so far? No? Abhishek, Akhilesh, any doubts?
Clear, ma'am.
Shabir? Okay. Yeah. So now our job is to not serve static files. Okay. We were in the first place we were using EJS, so we can combine JavaScript and HTML and render dynamic, have dynamic data so that I can render a static HTML page in the server itself and then send it to my client, right? So I need to pass some data here. Okay, if I wanted to have username hello and the username to be printed, I need to pass that data here, right? Dynamic data, whatever data you have. Okay, let us say, for example, let's say my user name is Rak. Okay, so I need to pass this data in the render method. Only then your EJS will have that data. Okay, in order to pass, simply add an additional parameter. Can you see here options? All the data will be available inside object. Okay, in the object, just mention username. Whatever object you wanted to pass, you can put a comma and add as many data you want. For now, let's stick with one data. Okay, I'm just passing the username. So this EJS file should be able to get this data, get my username, and then render accordingly. Okay, understood so far? And just passing the dynamic data. This data need not be static. It can change, based on the user. I have hard coded the username here, but generally based on the user, whoever is trying to access the server, it will vary. Okay, I'm just passing that data in an object, okay, as a second argument. Okay, so this .ejs should get that data, right? Okay, so this .js will get that data. How we can add or substitute that data is, okay, here only I wanted to have the username, right? This is the place after hello. Okay, simply put modulo, and then close. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, similar to how you have for all tags. Okay, open and then modulo symbol, then again a modulo and then close. So inside that, okay, you will have equal to symbol and then mention the object name as it is. Okay, how did I pass the, what is the key here? What is the
Username.
key here? Username, right? You should be able to access it with the same username here also. Can you try it now if it is working? Now if I go and hit, can you see hello Prague being printed? So whenever I try to change this data, if I try to change this data, again my data is gone. Now did we achieve this dynamic part here? Based on my dynamic data, whatever I pass, the HTML which is being rendered is different. I have only one now. Let's say you want to pass two things. Let's say you want to pass address. You can pass any string. Okay. Let's have meaningful names. Okay. Okay, I'm passing two things. If I wanted to print, let's say in the paragraph tag, I wanted to print the username, sorry, address part. So let's have an address as a name, and then what you have to do is open arrows, modulo symbol, again a modulo, and then close. Okay, this syntax is somewhat, as I told, right? It was way back in 2010, around that period. Okay, syntax is slightly, it's complex. Okay, so just know that it is there. It's enough. Don't not needed to dig so much into this. Okay, equal to, and then what is the key name I gave here? Address, right? So print address. So now if I let me go and show you in the browser itself, it's a HTML file only, right? Can you see the content? Inspect. If I see the sources, can you see the entire thing? It's a static content now. In the browser, it is static. Okay. I achieved this dynamic behavior in the server itself. I'm rendering all this in the server and then sending you a static HTML file. Understood?
And how to pass the two object in a single tag or element?
Two objects in a single tag. Okay. This itself, that you cannot do. Okay. Every time you try, let's try it, but I don't think you can do it. Let's try. I don't think you can, but yeah. No.
So how?
I think. So what you can do is, every time you substitute, you need to add this again.
Okay.
Okay. Address. Sorry. This is coming HTML tag address. You need to add this part, whenever you're trying to substitute. Meaning whenever you are trying to substitute the key, whichever you are trying to send. Okay. So now if I go and reload, can you see it's being appended? Two things.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is how you substitute data, add dynamic data, and render dynamic HTML from the server and then send it. Understood? Any doubts? Can we see a few other things?
Ma'am, can you
Okay,
show
let
the
us
JS
say,
file?
yeah.
App.js
JS
file?
file we
Can you show me?
don't have. Okay, app.js file. Yes, this one.
Yeah, yeah. So the username and address are the key value, and that the object value we can operate from the uh, HTML file, na?
Yes, the same key, whatever you give here, right? Using the same key, you can access it here. Is that what
Okay,
you're
ma'am.
asking? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let us say you don't have an username. Okay. Let us say, let's say this is undefined. There might be a possibility, right? So if you have JS, if you have JavaScript, what you will do is you will simply ask like if username is present, okay, if username is present, then do this. Okay, else print only hello. This is how you will be doing if it is a JavaScript. But if you do the same, it will not.
Voice is not.
Understood the problem here? Okay.
Ma'am, your voice
It will be
getting break, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. For everyone.
Okay. Yeah, let me switch off the fan. Come. Give me 1 minute. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible now.
Okay. Something happened to my internet connection today. Let's continue.
Still,
Okay. So is it better?
Ma'am, your voice is still breaking.
Still breaking?
still breaking, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What shall we do now? Give me a minute, I'll come back. Hello. Is it audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? Is it still breaking?
It
Still
is still breaking, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, I'll join in mobile data. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll rejoin back. Okay. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I will try to join in mobile data and then connect back. Okay. This Wi-Fi is not working as expected.
Now it is clear, ma'am.
It's clear? Can you continue then?
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
continue.
ma'am.
Okay. So now, if you see here, we were using JavaScript, right? Like if the JavaScript is being supported, okay, if else will work, right? So now I need to render, I need to use JavaScript here. Similar to how we had this syntax to substitute the values, okay, in order to make this as a JavaScript, right? What you will have to do is use the same syntax, okay, and then use this modulo symbol. Here, no need to do add equal to, because equal to is used for substituting the values. Okay, for every line, just add colon and then the close one alone. Everywhere you have a JavaScript, you will do that. Okay, now only if the username is present, I wanted to render this content. So just put that here inside if. Now this is a JavaScript, right? Am I audible, guys? Hello?
yes, you are audible.
Yes. Yeah. So now this is JavaScript. I added this syntax. Now this part is not JavaScript. It's just a H1 tag. So you can just substitute that as it is. Now coming to the next line, line 17, it is a JavaScript again. So add the same thing. Okay. Else, let us say simply print a H1 tag. No, saying hello user. Okay. Now this again is a JavaScript. So simply add modulo and modulo close. So this, right? So everywhere wherever you feel that JavaScript has to be given, you simply add this, that is open tag
Hello?
symbol and then modulo operator.
Hello?
Ma'am, your voice is
Yes.
not proper.
Ma'am, it is so much like now. It is.
Okay, I'll repeat now. So
Yeah,
in
sure.
this line, it is a JavaScript, right? So everywhere you have a JavaScript, you will add open tag and then modulo symbol. And in the end also, you will add modulo and then close tag. Okay. Everywhere you have a JavaScript. Everything else will be same. Okay. Everything else will be same. Only wherever you have JavaScript, put that inside this open tag modulo symbol and then modulo here as well and equal and close. Understood this part?
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you substitute, you add equal to, but for the JavaScript part and all, it's not required. Okay. Can we run now and see? Can we just go back? Okay. Now let's say, no, I have given undefined, right? So do you see only hello user part is being rendered? The first part is not rendered. Clear this part?
No, ma'am.
If, okay, I have given if username, right? So username is undefined here. Okay. So if username is present, this part would have been rendered. Okay. Else in line 18 should have been rendered, right? So is it working correctly now? If I go and hit, it's giving me hello user. Can you see here hello user?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now if I go and change the username, let's give some user instead of undefined. Let's have, okay, another username. Now if I go and hit, can you see the if condition being executed? This part, lines 14, 15, 16 is executed.
Okay, what if username is not given? Means like right now you provided data to user.
Okay.
Username is not
Let's
given.
let's see how that's working. Okay. I haven't given username. Now, if I go and send, can you see a reference error here?
Ma'am, this is not my question. My question is like sometime user is defined and sometime user is not defined.
Yes.
Both scenario, how we will handle this statement?
How will you handle in JavaScript? You will just check if it is truthy or falsy, right? You will have an if condition, and then if it is present, do something else, do another thing. That is how we will do in plain JavaScript, right?
Okay, the same manner.
The same here, everything. But since you are clubbing the entire JavaScript and HTML, you need to tell EJS that which part of your program is HTML, okay, and which part of your program is JavaScript. Okay. In order to tell that, you will have to differentiate all the JavaScript. Wherever you have JavaScript, enclose that with this symbol. Okay. Open tag symbol and then modulo and then close tag and then again a modulo. I think there's some background noise from someone. Can you mute yourself if you're not talking? Yeah. Thank you. Understood? If conditions similar to how you have, you can also have else if, all the conditions and all you can have. I'm simply showing you the else, if and else part. I have this formatter being there. Any doubts in having conditions in template? So far clear?
Yes.
Can we proceed to the next part? Okay, this is for conditions. Okay, so let's say you have an array of data. Okay, I showed you simple objects, simple strings, MCQ. Okay, can we see this loop part alone and enter the add the MCQ? okay, together, because I don't think we have time left. Okay, we will just end the class today with the seeing arrays alone, and then we will answer the MCQs continuously. Is that okay? Okay. Yes. Let us say this is an array of usernames. Okay. On each array, you have username XYZ and then the address of the user. So this is one user. Okay, let us try to duplicate with a comma. Okay, so let's say this is users object. So now this is an array with multiple objects, right? User street. Okay, I have two users as an array. Okay, now I am passing the entire array itself, okay, as an object. Do you think if I do the same here, okay, let's try to do the same for everything, equal to users. Now, do you think the page will give you all the users array like this? Let's try to hit that and see.
No.
Now, can you see the reference error username? Because we didn't send username here, and so it is giving you. Let's comment this part. Now, if I go and re-render, it's not commented. Okay. Can you see object here? What is the reason? What is the reason of having object? Now you are not passing plain strings or objects. Yes. Yes, Swapna.
No, ma'am.
Nothing. Okay. Now you are not passing plain strings. You are passing array of objects. Your EJS do not know how to process that. Okay, it will simply print object only. So do you need to iterate here? Yes, we need to iterate here, right? So what do you do? Dot for each. This is what we do in the JavaScript world, right? I don't think arrow functions will be supported. Let's have anonymous functions. This is how we do in JavaScript. Just write all your JavaScript functions. You will receive the object here, user object, right? This is how you will do in the JavaScript. Everyone are with me till here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is just mark all your JavaScript code. Okay, just enclose all your JavaScript code with open close and close modulo symbol, and then
Ma'am,
I'm
voice is
your voice is breaking a lot.
is it better?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I have done like the
Still breaking, ma'am.
hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, this is not working for us. So let's remove this. Okay, it's printing only object now. So this is how I will be doing with the JavaScript, right? Function. So add everything inside this symbol, that is the tag and then the modulo operator. So far everyone is tomorrow just but for today let's see this looping alone and end the class.
मैम अभी भी सही नहीं है, वॉइस ब्रेक कर रहा है.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh. Network and come back. Okay. Hello. Am I audible now, guys? I'm extremely sorry for this situation. I hope I'll definitely correct this tomorrow.
No issue, ma'am.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in the entire month or so. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Hathaway connection. Yeah, it's my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. That HTML file, no, right?
Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
it
Am
needs
I audible?
context.
Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully, at least for the next 10 minutes, it should be in this way. Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is, if I have an array and I need to iterate that array, you will use for each or any iterator for loop in the JavaScript, right? Add that loop here and simply enclose that with the modulo with this syntax. Okay. Inside that, I need to print the names, right? Let's say you want to list them everything in an li tag. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to print name. Okay. And then another li tag with the address. Okay. So these are the two informations I want to iterate through this array and then add them. Now, similar to how you would do, how will we substitute values? Equal to, now the value is user dot name, right? User dot username, right? What is the key here? Username, and then address. The second one is address. Okay. So yeah, understood this part? Yeah, same thing. I wanted to do it here as well. Let me copy and then paste. Now instead of username, it is going to be address. Now, if I go and rerun the application, okay. Can you see user one, name, user one? Let's go back and see here. We gave everything in the li tag, right? So that's the reason it's being listed there like that. Let's change everything to p, it should work. Understood how to use conditions, how to loop arrays in the thing? Just add your JavaScript code. Okay, just add your entire JavaScript code like this. If if else, if it's array methods, users dot for each, right? Just write your entire JavaScript code. Okay. After writing, simply enclose each line of your JavaScript code with this symbol so that it will know that it is a JavaScript and then execute it for you. If an loop clear, any doubts with these two parts?
No.
Rupam
No,
is
ma'am.
unable to join. What happened? What's the reason for that? Yeah, Saurabh has messaged that Rupam is unable to join. Let him try once more and yeah, let me know. Okay. These two topics enough, guys, how to use conditions and how to iterate through each of the arrays. It's enough. Tomorrow we will see how to, separate multiple EJS, how to separate multiple EJS files, and similar to how we import and export, right? How we imported and export all these. Similar to that, you can also import and export EJS module, like get the content from another EJS files. We will see the example of it tomorrow. For now, can we write the MCQ and then end up the class? I think the day is not good now today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am the MCQ. Is the MCQ for Baba batch posted?
No, not now.
No.
Not yet.
Ma'am, have you posted for Tata batch?
No. Yeah, Tata batch, I have added it. Is it present?
Only one, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes, one I have
yes.
added now. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Added another MCQ for Baba batch. Yeah, third MCQ on the way, guys. Give me a minute. Added third MCQ for Tata batch. Can you confirm if the third MCQ is being posted on the for the Tata batch?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Added for Baba batch as well. Okay, added the last MCQ for Tata. Did you get it? No?
But
Yes.
portal ही response नहीं कर रहा है.
Yeah, right.
Shubham,
Oh.
I'm not able to get it. Can you come again?
Ma'am, the portal is not responding. It is
Portal
like
itself is not
doing work.
responding.
Right
No.
now.
Ma'am, so don't give MCQ. If you gave and we did not see, then
Okay.
automatically we can't create an attendance.
Okay, okay.
Actually,
Okay.
we already have
Portal
attended
is not
3, na?
working.
You take
Today
a screenshot.
everywhere, today everywhere it's a problem, I believe. Even the website is not responding.
Ma'am, I have taken a screenshot and I will send to Manish. He's asking
Okay.
about screenshot.
Ma'am, portal is not
Yes.
working, ma'am.
I'm not able to get you. Can you come again?
Ma'am, portal is not working.
Portal
Yeah,
itself is not
it's for
working.
every. Yes, ma'am. It's for everyone.
Oh,
Not-
okay. So
We
Shubham,
can't.
for you it's working.
Nope, not working.
Okay,
For
let me not
also.
post the. So far only 3 MCQs, right, for both the batches.
Yes, yes.
So don't publish the attendance. Leave it.
Okay, okay. But that I cannot do, right? Like,
Just read
No,
the
ma'am.
you student make the response that
probably okay. Let me take the screenshot of the participants here. So if they ask me, I can just send that. Okay. Yeah, I'm just taking the screenshot of all the participants here.
now it's working.
And now it's working. ma'am.
Also got
Oh.
my response and all MCQs are getting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take the screenshot and keep it for my reference. Okay, so yeah, let's not add the MCQ. Is it working for everyone? Should I add attendance
The
now?
attendance portal is working, ma'am, but the MCQ portal is not working.
I think it's
attendance.
Yeah, now it is working.
give a MCQ, ma'am.
MCQ.
Okay.
Let's see what
Okay.
really happens. Because
Okay.
portal is working fine now.
Oh, for me, it's this is session alone. It's not working.
MCQ is still not working since we have completed 3 questions MCQs. So I think we should go for attendance first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me enable the attendance. I have done it for Tata batch, but it
Hello?
doesn't seem to respond. Yes,
Ma'am,
Shaurav.
I was unable to mark third MCQ.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
me also. I missed my first MCQ. So you have to add one more.
Okay, okay. I have enabled the attendance, but let me add one more MCQ. Okay, for the benefit of others.
Ma'am, in MCU, just give 4 to 5 minutes. If there is some issues, we can
Okay,
mark after.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
got
yes,
it, got
great,
it.
great.
It's loading, by the way, but it's taking some time.
Okay.
Because of heavy traffic.
Syria. Silk City.
I did ask this feature to be enabled, like, add the MCQs before class itself and have, so that I can just post it online.
Ma'am, after submitting attendance also, it is like loading for some time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm adding one more MCQ. Okay, give me time.
Attendance is live or is that?
Yes.
Attendance for
yes.
Tata batch, it's live. Yeah, I'll do it for the other batch as well. For Baba batch, I don't know what's the reason. It's not even loading. Is the attendance created for Baba batch now?
मैम पोर्टल स्लो चल रहा है.
No, portal is not working.
Okay, I have added. It shows
Yeah,
that I successfully attendance
Attendance is
created.
live. Attendance is live.
It is working, ma'am, actually.
Okay.
I think too much traffic came into attending portal site.
Okay, I have added 4 MCQs for the Tata batch. Let me add it for Baba batch as well. My mouse battery also went off. Okay. Yeah, Baba batch, I'm adding the 4th MCQ, guys.
Okay.
Because only 3, some might have missed few. So they might not be able to mark the attendance.
Well, we can mark attendance without the fourth MCQ.
I have added the 4th MCQ. I think if you have done 3 MCQs, you should be able to mark the attendance. Okay. Is everyone able to mark the attendance now?
Done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, extremely sorry from my side. My internet connection, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'll check that and make sure it doesn't occur moving forward. Okay, guys. Yeah. Have a good day. Good night. Bye-bye. Tomorrow we will see. Yeah, it's template engines. We have already seen if conditions and loops. Just that we will have to see one more, like how to separate multiple files and then group them together. That's alone pending. Everything else, it's done. Okay. Okay, everyone. Good night. Bye.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Good night, Swapnil. Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Yeah, good night, Dheeraj. Good night.
I
Good
have a
night,
doubt.
Israr. Yes, Prag. Go ahead.
Like while working with EJS, can we
Mhm.
create a JS file separate?
Separately and then link it,
Right, right.
like as a script, is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Then I think it should work. Let's try tomorrow. Yeah, what did you try? Because
No,
I
ma'am. Like
think if it is, if it is a JS file and if you wanted to add it in the HTML via script, you should make sure that the entire script file is also sent to the
no
client.
that
Else
we,
it will not be able to load it, right?
that we can by using public, no, ma'am, like static serving.
Yes, yes. Yeah, what the issue which I see, try to add that script file, link it here. When you load that HTML file in the browser, your HTML you have linked the script file, right? So it will go and ask for script file. So you should serve that script file as well in order to load it properly in the HTML.
And one
You
more thing.
want to render, yeah,
Mhm.
I think you were asking me that you wanted to render JavaScript in the server side itself from linking, is it? That's not possible.
Yeah, like normally as we do with HTML, like some action, like if you want perform by
Yes,
clicking or something like that.
yes. Yeah, because this is an EJS file, right? So since this is an EJS file, even if you link it, it's like you have to have that JS file in the client as well in order to load that in the browser, else it will not. Got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And ma'am, one more thing, like yesterday, sorry, the assignment you have given,
Mhm.
the input, and ma'am,
Yeah.
I was getting the like data like from the form,
Mhm.
but as I'm doing like it's I'm taking as input as a radio by clicking that. So it's
Did,
giving me that. So it
okay.
was like giving me the object like it is on like the name I have given and it's giving me on. So is there any like option that I can get the data like I can
What's the value, is it?
yeah,
So
yeah, like
the on and
is
off is a default value for radio tag. You need to add an attribute called value, if I'm right.
right. No, ma'am, like for that I have to use JS, na, ma'am. From JS I have to get the like
No, no,
right.
no. Not necessary. If you give the value in the tag itself, in the radio tag input tag, right? If you add the value together, so instead of on, it will pass that value itself.
Okay.
Okay. Try adding value and then try to submit it. Instead of on or off, it will try to pass the value of the value which is there in the value attribute.
Okay, in the HTML like attribute, right?
Yes, yes, HTML attribute value equal to and whatever you wanted to have it. Let's say it's a male and female, have value equal to male in one radio and the other thing have value equal to female. So whichever is on, so based on that, it will take the value from the value attribute and then send it to the server.
Okay, like and is there any like option like I can get the data to JS and then I can send to the server backend?
Yes, that you can do, right? Have a on submit handler. Okay, that is how we send, pass it as a JSON instead of a form data. You get the data from each of the element, right? You have an ID for each of the tag. Use get value by get element by ID and then try to get the value of the tags.
I'm
Okay.
like I can get the like data in J dot like JS file, but then how to send the data to the like respond like backend?
Use fetch method. Okay, add fetch method as post and then you will have data attribute. Okay, let me show you. Let me send the sample link. Okay. Now the internet connection seems to work.
Yes.
Not during the class. Okay. Let me send you the link here. If you go and see that link, okay, they have used fetch method. Okay, so first thing which you will add, can you see that link now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so the first attribute is after, see the post one, see the post one, they will be adding the method first. Okay, after method, do you see the body thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you add that all your data in the JSON format and the body and then send it. So if you are doing in this way, you don't need to add that URL encoded and all.
Right. So I'm like, what is the like best practice, like from getting directly from HTML or from JS?
Mostly JSON format of data is being used to exchange from servers and client. Okay, format of data. Let us say I have a backend service. Okay, but you don't have the client for it. Okay, and each of the client will start to implement their own way of handling it. Okay, you only manage the backend part. Okay, there might be multiple clients who are using your APIs. Let's say you have an user API and you give the API details. You develop only the backend and you give, similar to how we have all the fake APIs and all, right? Similar to that, you give the endpoints alone. So based on the client, they can do it, right? So I can call your API either through JSON or I can also call either through form, right? So based on the client's implementation, you should be able to support all of them. If you only want to support JSON, you can very well go and implement the same. Okay, but mostly exchanging data between the client and server in today's generation is done using JSON format of data only. That would be the better option as far no I have worked in the industry.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Dheeraj, any doubts?
No, ma'am, no.
Okay. Okay, guys,
Fine.
good night.
Good night.
Internet seems to be very fine now. I don't know why. Okay, let's catch up tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah, sometimes happen.
Yeah. Bye.